Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Testing 1, 2. Can the audience actually hear us?
I honestly don't know why it does that. It never does it. It never does it. We go Scotland.
It seems like it's actually working. It's actually working now. Shocking.
As long as your microphone doesn't start working, going to get better. Say anything. Hello, everybody. How are you all tonight? You know, it's good to see everybody. My phone keeps turning off, which is quite weird. I don't know. It's funky stuff going on tonight. That was funky last week. The amount of problems, but the week before that, the problems we were having. Yeah, and I'm not getting notifications. I'm not getting notifications on my phone. There we go now. It's a bit late, that.
Well, it's not your phone's fault that it's starting to act like its operator. Slow to run.
I'm maybe slow, ladies. I'm old, I'm decrepit. Because I've got this idiot sitting next to me, you know. Do you know, like somebody says to me the other day, they love our banter. They love it when we start arguing with each other. He's an idiot. Yeah. I wish I could put my horn right through the wall and slap him in the side of the head.
Wouldn't that be interesting if we could pull something like that off and pass drinks to one another? I don't know.
Oh, God. You're late. Oh, look, Drew says we're late. Oh, I'm very sorry. Your Royal Highness King Drew.
Well, Drew, you got to remember, with us, it's usually one of two things. Either A, we're having some sort of technical difficulties, or B, your brother doesn't know when to shut up sometimes.
Well, it was both that tonight. We were just discussing things. And this is coming for Drew. It's taken him about a week to figure out what was wrong with his TV.
Yeah, I was thinking Drew was the smart one.
You know. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a very, very interesting subject, which is not getting talked about that much in the mainstream media. I'll say that. In fact, I've seen nothing about it in the mainstream media.
I've seen hardly any coverage about it. Barely anything about the victims that have either been declared missing or deceased. And obviously, we're talking about the situation in Lahaina.
Yeah. Well, I just brought that up there for Melissa Kennedy.
Yeah.
Brought that up. Look, what's actually happening out there right now is horrific. There's a lot of fake information out there. I'm going to say that now. There's a lot of fake information out there. Because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff online, as you do. But you know, have you heard about the 1,000 people missing? Over 1,000 people. There's actually a reporter. Yeah, there's actually a reporter asked the governor, asked him, where are the missing people? And he just blanked him and went on to something else. Do you know there's people getting evicted out of their homes that didn't burn down?
Well, we should also probably talk about BlackRock and Vanguard trying to buy out people's homes that were affected.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? BlackRock and Vanguard, two investment firms that own practically 99% of the world.
Yeah. I watched a thing about it last night on TikTok. It was actually quite long, actually. It gave me a link and it took me to a site and I watched it. And the guy went down the waterfront. A lot of people had tried to escape the fires. And they went into the water and they were actually pulling bodies out. Hundreds. The mainstream media are not covering that.
Well, let's point out something else here that's suspicious about the entire ordeal.
Yeah.
President Biden showing up 13 days after the entire ordeal. The only sort of remorse that he's shown towards it is the laser focus comment and one-time payment of $700. That barely gets by a week worth of groceries, my understanding down there. Nevertheless, trying to tell people who just lost everything to make that work, to recover.
What's even more disturbing is that president that you've got, there's something really wrong with him. Did you hear his speech in front of all the
That he was
survivors?
comparing those fires to a kitchen fire? One. Two,
Yeah, and
why is President
Biden
not taking media questions? He was not taking any questions from the media about this entire ordeal.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's shocking. It really is shocking. And he was more concerned. He said, what was it, type of car he had? My friend on the Xbox actually was talking the other night about it. What type of car did he have? What was that? He nearly lost his car. And I was like, what is this guy doing? What is seriously wrong with this guy? And he's running for the next presidency. Is he mad? I don't think I'm going to say this outright right now, everybody. Joe Biden is not the president of the United States. He's a puppet. He's a puppet. He's not running. Someone else is running your country. And you better wake up.
Because more of these attacks are allegedly coming.
Yeah. They're happening everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just Hawaii. Jesus Christ. Have you seen the fires in Louisiana? I was just telling you about it. It's
the
Louisiana.
oil refinery.
It's happening. Yeah. It's happening in Scotland. There's loads of there's in forests where it rains all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's never happened before. It's happening in Greece. Look at Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, the $1 million houses are not getting touched.
Exactly.
With the blue roofs.
Yeah. And that's another interesting point is that's looking even more and more valid. And someone actually on TikTok who has access to laser equipment showed that a certain shade of bright blue, almost baby blue,
Yeah, I've seen that.
isn't affected by direct energy weapons.
It's the same blue as lights up that chat when we click on it. It's a light, yeah.
What I Blue find Man group a few shades lighter, there'd probably be some of the safest motherfuckers on this planet right now.
But what is more disturbing before the fires in Hawaii, right? Before the fires there in the islands, there was rich celebrities that you see on TV quite a lot painted their roofs blue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, either they know something or they're psychics and they predicted it. Do you know the people that have bought the ground as BlackRock and all that, the people that are building on the islands have actually built buildings already and they've all got blue roofs?
Here's also another thing that's being pointed out. And a lot of people are speculating that this is supposed to tie into some false flag alien invasion event, right?
Right.
Apparently, there was a Space Force facility that's supposed to be built in the area around the same time.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm. I was reading over some of the resources our friend Elena Denon's been pushing out because obviously something of this nature, she's getting 1,012 questions.
Look, I will say this. I've been talking to people from there that are family that are missing.
Mm-hmm.
Missing. They don't know where they are. There is a lot of fake news community there. I'm going to give you that. Did you see the fake news? I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's happened. I don't know if it's been covered up by the mainstream media. But did you see the one where they said that the US Marines had engaged FEMA?
Yeah.
You don't know what to believe in that. I mean, was it true?
Was
it covered up?
That was started by a well-known satire website. Because the Marines were involved in arrest of a FEMA official before the fires took place. That part is true.
But it was actually Lisa Fry I was talking to the other night when she was on the show, and she was actually saying that, and we were discussing this, that FEMA's the only ones that are allowed in. No other charity group can go in. Do you not find that's strange? And what's even more strange is the police blockaded the only escape exit. The
What do you
blockaded.
expect when the main police official behind that is the same guy who took on the investigation of the Las Vegas shooting?
Yeah. The firefighters tried their best. I'm going to say this to now. The firefighters tried their best, but when they went to plug into the water, the people that run the island turned off the water.
Now, there's a possible reason behind that. I'm just
Mhm.
going to say this because this is not something that I want to come across as disrespectful to any of the locals who are still dealing with this tragedy. Because, like you said, there's a lot of fake news and a lot of assholes with too much time on their hands.
Yeah, they're taking it
Feeding
for
the
views so
fires.
they can make money. Yeah, they're making.
I know,
Yeah.
and with that we can make that a whole other show. But
Yeah.
while no official cause behind the fires has been released, they speculate that it has something to do with a particular energy company that has caused fires before. And obviously, putting water on an electrical fire is a very bad move.
That's very true. That's very true. But as we said about the blue, did you see the video of all the burnt vehicles except for the blue one?
Yep.
I mean, all the cars in a straight line, there must have been about 100 cars. Every one of them is melted in fire, except for the one sitting in the very middle. It was fine. The bumpers were a bit melted and stuff, but the thing could have still be drived because the guy turned the lights on. And
see, Iron Firehorse is just pointed out the same thing. Something about the power. And again, fire crews we usually had to use a special type of foam for major electrical fires like that. Now, here in Idaho, this year hasn't been too bad when it comes to wildfires, but we see it all the time, mostly because of either lightning storms or dumbasses with fireworks.
There's something here I want to say, right? Is see that Karma, this is not climate change. I totally agree.
And no, I was just about to say,
it's deliberate. It's deliberate.
I was just about to say, if it was climate change, you would not have multiple points of origin. Yeah. If it was climate change, and which people need to start paying attention because very similar anomalies have started popping up in various parts of the world right now.
Yes.
That were spotted before Maui. Think about it. Lahaina isn't too far from where the strange laser grid was spotted.
That's right.
Right around the time of where the weather balloon Tic Tac UFOs. And I have something on that too for my area, which is kind of concerning because I was right above my house.
But here's there's something that you don't know. And it's no coming out of China now. There's major forest fires in China.
And there's
major forest fires in North Korea.
Yeah. Another thing that a lot of people find suspicious is that just before the Lahaina fires, again, this is just a matter of timing. We cannot know 100% sure unless we were involved.
Yeah.
China actually announced that the simplified version of it is that they figured out how to keep their laser weapons cooled more efficiently to where they can be fired for longer periods of time. Similar light phenomenon has been spotted in Maui as well as several other parts of the world, British Columbia, several other parts where these fires took place. Multiple points of origin, and it's also speculated that the heightened chemtrail activity may have some sort of magnetic ferrofluid element which allows to focus these energy beams.
I've heard
that's the word about that.
I've heard this, right? Everybody used to say, oh, there's no such thing as chemtrail and stuff like that. They've been doing it for a long time. It's been proven that they've been spraying the atmosphere for a long time. My God, I can remember when we actually had blue skies. No, we don't. It was like lines everywhere, right? They're spraying stuff, right? They're deliberately doing it. And a lot of folk thought, aye, this is maybe to do with Project Bluebeam and all that, and maybe it's so they can use the holographic technology. Maybe it is. Maybe they're going to use that for that too. I don't know. But I've also heard today with the laser weapons. That was a big thing.
It
I'm
helps
telling you,
target it.
look, I think they're doing this deliberately. I think that they're trying to say it's climate change. They're trying to bring in a zero emission law. They want to bring in and ban petrol and diesel cars, right?
In
They're
Lahaina,
wanting
we also got to consider the fact that they have been trying to convert that area into a smart city for some time now.
Yes.
There was a conference and it's scheduled for this coming January.
See,
Then all of a sudden, BlackRock and Vanguard are starting to try to buy out the place.
it's not just fires though that's been getting around the world. Have you seen the tornadoes coming down the most strangest places? In mountains, and top of mountains.
It's technically not impossible, but
It's not impossible. But there's been tornadoes seen here in Scotland.
I've heard about
And
that.
which they do happen, but they're very, very rare. And I think I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I think this is deliberate. It's 100% deliberate. They're up to something. Yes, some of the fires might have been accidents, right? Let's face it. Some are going to be accidents because it happens every year, right? But come on, look at the guy that's disappeared on TikTok. He just totally disappeared. Maybe he's went into hiding. I don't know. There was a car. There was a group of cars, and you could actually follow the Scotch marks over the rocks towards the road. And the road was all melted, right? And then the cars were melted. Look, if you set a car on fire, yeah, all the plastic's going to melt, guys, right? All the plastic's going to melt. And there was actually a fire expert that looked into this, and he says, you will not, the wheels and stuff will not melt in a normal fire. Something melted those cars. Something hot enough melted those cars. Because there's been witnesses seen it coming out the sky.
You know, there's actually one video I found kind of concerning. I want to validate its legitimacy before I share anything.
Yeah.
Just because of how sensitive this thing. It wasn't out of Lahaina, but it's a very similar topic to what we're discussing right now, where all of a sudden, this looks like some sort of weather cam like you would expect to see on a news channel, right?
Yeah.
You see in the distance you see a series of lights in a V formation. It looks like video of the Phoenix lights.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Then all of a sudden, beam of light comes down and a gas station goes up.
I've seen that.
That's
weird that I was watching that last night. I watched that last night.
I want to validate the legitimacy of that video, but again, even the dumbest individuals I know, it sounds mean to say, even the dumbest individuals I know, like, that's a little suspicious.
Look, there's other ones out there with energy weapons. There's other ones. It's not just the gas station. There's the one where it's the intersection, and you see all the traffic moving. And then it comes down and it hits it. Was it a substation it hit or something? And look, this has to stop, guys. And I'm going to say this now. I don't care what folks say. Climate change is a hoax. It is. It's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's 1,000,000% a hoax. And I'll tell you something right now. I'm not saying pollution isn't a hoax. I'll tell you this now. There is pollution in this world. We're using too much plastic. We're a throwaway society. We're throwing stuff into the seas. And talking about throwing away stuff into the seas, have you seen what's happened in Japan? I don't know if any guys in there have seen what's happened in Japan, guys. But that's all the used spent water and the nuclear power station Fukushima that's highly radioactive has been dumped into the sea. Well, it's getting dumped in the now. Do you know China and North Korea and Korea and stuff like that have banned fishing in Japanese waters because it's that toxic? Yeah. So is the Japanese people. They've been told they can't eat fish from the Pacific. They can only eat fish from the Atlantic.
Yeah. We got a full on Godzilla situation because something's going to be so fucking mutated coming out of that water, because a number of species, their very DNA gets rewritten anytime that shit gets dumped.
Yeah. It's, look, I watched a simulation. Yeah. Within the next 2 weeks, it'll have went all over the Pacific. It'll be on the Californian coast.
Mhm.
You have no idea how toxic that is, guys. People will get cancer really quickly just by swimming in the water for like half an hour.
You know, you also got to consider something else. How openly certain officials have been talking about depopulation plans, and we got all
Yeah.
this shit going on.
Yeah. Yep. It's like something is going on. Something as a foot, as one would say, was Shakespeare. Something as a foot, right? People, this climate crisis, there's no such thing as climate crisis. Look, I see, and people watch me and they're like, the Monday do it, I'll meet them the morons. Oh, how could you say that? It was hot as in. Look, 20 years ago, it was hotter than what it was now. The earth goes through cycles, right? The earth goes through cycles. It's done that for millions and millions and millions of years. At one point, Antarctica had a jungle. It was a jungle, right?
They say every
At one,
5,000 years,
yeah,
Egypt switches between a desert and a jungle.
aye, the Sahara and all that was a jungle,
Mhm.
and this is what people don't realize, and they're so fucking brainwashed by the mainstream media. Ooh, I drive an electric car and I'm saving the planet. Well, actually, no. If you drive an electric car, you're actually killing the planet. You have no idea the work that goes into making an electric car. Cobalt. I don't know if you've noticed, but have you ever seen the videos of the cobalt mines? Where they get underage people doing about 7 or 8 to mine the cobalt for your electric cars. Look, I'm not saying electric cars are a bad idea, but the technology's there to know that it's utter shit, right? You don't get many miles to get. You don't get many miles to a charge, right? Maybe if we wait another 10 years or 20 years, maybe that'll get better, right? But come on, this climate change rubbish. You can get a gasoline-powered car that runs on, is it hydrogen? It's hydrogen that runs on hydrogen. And do you know what comes out? You know what comes out the exhaust? Do you know what comes out the exhaust? Water. Water. I know, guys. I know a couple of people that have got them. Look, and hydrogen is so easy to make. You just put a current through salt water. Hence, it gives off the gas. You take that gas, you burn it in your engine, and all it comes out. There's zero emissions. It's actually JCB. JCB is actually turning all their diggers and trucks into hydrogen-powered fuel source because there's no emissions whatsoever. What's that karma there? But in 1912, an electric car was 1,200 miles with one. Yeah, I've seen that. I know what you're talking about. I've seen that.
That shit's been around for over 100 years. That's why Dr. Greer always talks about the lost century when it comes to technology.
Yeah, look at all the people that have disappeared that have invented things.
Look at the people that literally show tutorials of how to convert their gas-powered vehicles into where they run off of that very hydrogen concept that all of a sudden turned out as victims in a mass shooting. Another aspect, trying to jump back into Maui, that a lot of people are pointing out, a lot of the areas being hit have possible connections to human trafficking as well. Because there's several children that popped up around there that are missing.
That's
Oprah Winfrey.
Hi.
Her spiritual advisor, Oprah Winfrey, was arrested for human trafficking not too long ago and sentenced to 90 years in prison?
See, that's interesting what Rev Melissa put there about fossil fuels. I'm just going to go back to the children in a minute, but I just wanted to say that because I live in Scotland. There's a lot of hydroelectric power plants and there's a lot of wind mills, right? But we've still got 3 gas-powered plants, and we've still got 2 nuclear power stations, right? The UK doesn't really have any like oil burning coal plants anymore because they've phased them out, and that's why there's sometimes blackouts. because they don't have enough there, right? Going back to the kids, something suspicious. Who told that Oprah Winfrey house was one of the houses that didn't get burnt down there? That was the one with the blue roof that's mysteriously survived. The house in front of it melted and burned down. The house behind it melted and burned down. The house at the side of it melted and burned down. The house at the other side of it melted and burned down. But her house mysteriously survived.
Jeff Bezos also owns land out, out that way.
Jeff old Bezos, Mr. Amazon.
I find it funny that our signals are starting to drop out as we're going into this. Starting to name names.
Care. I
just find it funny. I just find it funny.
It's funny. Oprah Winfrey is obviously a big player in this. And I'll tell you something right now. She's getting older now. What age is Oprah Winfrey?
I think she's in her 60s.
Well, the time will come when you have to meet your maker and explain this, Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah's also the one who advocates for the lotions made out of human foreskin.
Yeah. Yep. It's just, I can't believe. I mean, there's the conspiracy community there and the UFO community and the paranormal community. There's just no talking about this. We're the only ones that's talking about this. I know there's other people like Danny and Elena and stuff like that, but come on. It's as if everybody's afraid. You need to talk about this. Because the less that you cover this, the more that you cover this up, the worse it's going to get. Something needs to be done.
I've been thinking about that. Did you know the CIA considers about 98% of people these days so egotistical they cannot talk outside of their reality?
Yeah.
Therefore, that 98% of people is going to be the easiest to manipulate. A lot of people in the paranormal community, but I'll say it, they are so stuck in their convictions that anytime somebody steps out of line for what their beliefs is, they immediately become chastised.
Yeah.
These communities, for the majority, have allowed themselves to become a joke. And Karima, I'm just going to say, maybe that could very well still be the case. But where are they sourcing that foreskin is what I'm wondering.
I don't know how. Off a wee. But they don't have to stretch it or run about you or something like that.
Just saying.
You know, I don't know how that's used. How is that used for burn victims? I can maybe see like a wee burnt patch, but if you're like totally burnt, maybe it's, I don't know. But anyway, that's a new thing. I didn't know that. But the cream industry to keep people young is obviously in Hollywood and that. But have you noticed they're doing it in Hollywood now? They're painting all their roofs blue.
Mm-hmm.
They're painting all their roofs blue. Because obviously this is going to happen more and more and more. It's going to get worse, you know. It's going to get worse. And see this weather manipulation. I'm going to give you a prediction, right? This year, when the hurricane season starts, I bet you there's a category hurricane that destroys a lot of land that's never been seen before.
Funny you should mention that.
Why?
You see the latest little bit that the sudden downgrade in the Hurricane Hillary that just hit California not too long ago, right?
Yep.
A lot of people are speculating that a direct energy weapon was used to basically throw off the storm to where it would dissipate.
Yep. And
they also say that if you point a laser, focus it directly into the eye of a storm, you can actually control the path of it.
Yes. And I bet you the United States will be hit with one of the biggest ever in record. Ever. And it will cause trillions of dollars worth of damage. Trillions of dollars worth of damage. I've been doing a bit of research and I see next year there's something going to happen. There's something going to happen in the US. I think this is the start of the natural disasters, right? There's going to no natural, really, man-made disasters. That's going to start from this year. Next year, I predict that the storms will be that bad. There'll be trillions upon trillions of dollars of damage.
We're already trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt.
Oh no! This has got to be biblical. Biblical. I bet you next year there's tornadoes, right, that are like 30 times the size of the biggest ones ever been recorded.
In order to,
they're ramping up. This is what they're doing. They're ramping up. It's going to get worse and worse.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have to constantly fire off the weapons. You just have to upset the balance. That's all it is. The more that these weapons are fired, we're going to see more sporadic weather.
Yeah. There's going to be repercussions for what they've been doing. It's not just that. What have you heard about the big one, the earthquake? Have you heard anything in the Great West?
They've been sporting that line for years, man.
But do you not think it could happen with all these energy weapons that they've got? Because
going back to the laser grids that were spotted off of Maui, it is widely believed by some, and the fault lines actually line up with that in mind, that certain earthquakes within like Syria and that particular region may have been caused by the disturbance with direct energy weapons being fired off the coast of Maui.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're making this up. People have physically gotten video and photos of these lasers. Yeah. It's not just some conspiracy anymore. People are actually catching this shit in action.
People need to say more, guys. You need to share this video. Probably get taken down. I'm not giving a fuck, right?
That's why we stream so many places.
I don't care about the governments of the world anymore. People need to wake up. And it's like what's happening now. There's a lot of talk on TikTok. There might be another lockdown coming in.
Yeah, environmental lockdowns.
Yeah, environmental lockdowns and not just that. Election lockdowns too. But they say that's coming back. I mean, they're trying to close everybody down because they know it's all about control. They all want these 15-minute cities. And people will be like, oh, no, that's a load of rubbish, guys. That'll no happen.
But we also thought the world shutting down to a pandemic like they did was bullshit.
Do you know there was people like that years ago, about maybe 15 years ago, I would go, see the planes are spraying something. Oh, you're talking pish. I knew they've fully come out and said they're spraying the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the UFOs. The US government's admitted to UFOs. I'm amazed, honestly. I'm amazed. Some folk, it doesn't seem to have done anything. I'm actually very surprised,
because and there's going to be a lot of people that try to shoot down broadcasts like this, saying, "Oh, it's the law of attraction. You're spreading fear." First off, we need to get off of our fucking high horses and actually take into action. People don't say, they don't want low vibration energy. First off, when the fuck are we going to get angry about the shit that's going down? Yeah. Not because it's affecting Democrats, Republicans, and blacks and whites and gays and straight. That is all nothing but a bunch of hypocritical bullshit that is constantly being pushed in order to stir up this chaos. The reason why people aren't reacting to the news about UFOs and extraterrestrials being admittedly real is because we're so caught up in this chaos, and that's exactly what they fucking want. Yeah. This whole new age concept has been pushed, and several of the retired CIA agents have fully admitted that they have inserted people into these communities for the sole purpose of disrupting things. You know what they say the perfect spy recruit is for the CIA? Someone who is too young and dumb to ask questions why they're being told to do what they're doing.
Yeah, the perfect. Look, it's not just that. It's the younger generation now. I'm sorry to say this. Some of these are all right. Some of these are really good because I can folk younger generation that are really clever and that. But some of these are downright idiots. I mean, if you just need to go into that TikTok late at night and have a scroll through all the lives, what
Well,
is that
Mr.
all
UK,
about?
let's go on about the group Just Stop Oil. That's
Oh my god! Oh,
yeah.
gluing themselves,
Look at
gluing
how
themselves to the
much.
road.
Look how much those people. Now, granted, a number of people can't agree. There needs to be some sort of change in how we control energy because the way we're doing it simply just poisons everybody around it. We know better. We know it's not working. But they all go to act big and tough. But yet, the second they're actually confronted with cameras, they break down.
Yeah.
They destroy all of these monuments, effectively turning away anybody who would probably side with them.
It's like the people that want all the refugees to come into Britain. It's like the people that want all the look. I'm all for you coming into this country if you're actually a refugee and your country's at war and you've witnessed terrible things. But there was one guy who was in London. It was a big protest. And it was all the pensioners and stuff like that, and the younger generation, all the well-off people. Oh, let everybody in, let everybody in. And the guy went round them and says, "Well, would you like to let one of the asylum seekers stay with you? You know, you're wanting us to all come in." And like, "Oh no, we don't want those type of people staying with us." So you know what I mean? This is the type of society. This is the type of
Exactly.
society. A lot of these Just Stop Oil people, guys, are rich people, but with nothing else to do.
Mm.
One of the Just Stop Oil people that actually, what was that painting? There was a painting, they chucked paint all over. Their father's a multi-millionaire and he's got ties to the oil business.
Uh-huh. They're just in that to just piss off daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, look, see all what's going on in the new way, or the what do you call it, this feminist movement, all this kind of stuff with the feminist movement. You came what I mean with the what do you call it, transvestites and stuff like that. Folk want to be this and want that. There's
LGBT.
nothing wrong. LGBT. There's nothing wrong with what you want, but it's getting a bit carried away, right? It's getting ridiculous now. I mean, there's women now, women that do certain sports in like the Olympics, right? And men are dressing up because men can't win at being a man at the Olympics. So instead, they kid on they're a woman, and then they win because it's a woman they're going against.
Yeah, let's talk about how some of these athletes in the men's league, their ranking was in the 400s, but in the women's league, they're top of their game.
Oh yeah.
Gee, I wonder why.
It's madness. It's madness.
This definitely does feel like a prelude to something nasty. We can't ignore it just because it makes us feel sad. If we didn't have these negative feelings, people, and I'm pointing this out to every new ager that gets pissed off at me when I go to talk about this. If we didn't have these feelings, what is supposed to drive us to push for change?
Nothing, because that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping all the younger generation, all these new agers are dumb, compliant, and they do what they're told. So as they can change, so as they can do what they want, and they can do what they want. If you to go back to the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, even 60s, you would not get away with this. What's going on right now? You would not get away with what's going on right now.
Fuck that. 10 years ago. Yeah. 10 years ago, you wouldn't get away with this.
You would not get away. You would not get away with what's happening now. And this is all by design, guys. It shows they can bring in their one world government, their new world order, their 15-minute cities, and you can George Orwell 1984 coming true, and everybody's basically little robots doing their thing with a chip implant in their hand and doing what they're told. Oh, and the population's down to like 5 million or something like that instead of 8 billion. It's all about that. It's all been designed. This was decided. This was decided a long time ago before any of us in this chat, any of us sitting here, was born. This was decided a long time.
When we had him on, he made a very valid point. The Nazis. They may have lost World War II, but they've won global domination.
Yeah.
They've won. And we're just sitting by, letting it happen because they offered some fancy intel during Project Paperclip. In fact, did you know when certain secret societies, they advocate for things like social media and all this simple pleasantries we may get from our day-to-day lives, they realized how quickly we are able to give up private information about ourselves for simple toys.
Yeah.
That's why they advocate this stuff so much. They back
it's like some people in this type of field that we're in. Some of them are just wanting fame and wanting to make money and get maybe a TV slot, doing like a ghost hunting show or something like that, or something like that, and they want to talk about this. Whereas there's people like us that actually want to bring the truth out to the light, and we'll not get many views because, let's face it, we're probably shadow banned everywhere, you know? And it's sad. It's sad that people are just turning a blind eye. I was talking to somebody about a couple of months ago, and we were talking about the way the world's going, right? And do you know what he says to me? He says, "Oh, it's not going to harm me any." And I says, "It will harm you eventually. Oh, it'll not harm me. It'll not come here." This is the mentality we're dealing with. People that think that they're too far away from all this. It's not too far away. What's happening in Russia and Ukraine now? That's not that far away. All these forest fires, that's not far away. It can come here. It can happen here. And before you know it, it'll be on your doorstep. And then you'll be like, fuck. Oh, this cat, I don't want to stand for this. I'm going to stand up against this. And by that time, it's too late because everybody's been dumbed down. And everybody that's into this kind of thing has been either dealt with. Because let's face it, because if anything does happen, folk like me and Dakota and everybody in the chat that puts up a fight against this will be dealt with. Because I know you're probably on a list somewhere. You're probably on a list. I'm probably on a list and all.
I'm going to say this, and if Dots is still in the chat, he can validate it because he saw the videos I took of it. I was reaching out to Elena to ask her some questions about something that's supposed to come up this October. Relatively minor thing, nothing harmful. As I get home, I grab my cat, take her out for a walk. She was an outdoor cat and gets antsy if I don't do it. I look up at the sky because it was still relatively dark. I'm just getting off the home from work. And all of a sudden I see this bright light above the house. I'm just like, that's looking a little weird. I pull up the star map. There's not supposed to be any stars. That also flags satellites. It's just staying relative. Then this thing starts moving by itself. This whole ordeal lasted about 45, 50 minutes. Something was right above my house. I've gotten video of it. You can clearly see something's up. And people will say, oh, maybe it's one of those high altitude balloons, like the ones that got shot down earlier this year. Okay. I looked into that as well. The motion it was taking does not line up with the jet stream patterns.
Yeah. It was either one of two things. It was either they were keeping an eye on you, whoever's pissed off with what you're saying, or two, it was your alien friends keeping an eye on you and protecting you.
Because I was asking for if certain individuals were going to be showing up in October when I go down to Orlando. Which, speaking of which, the strange lights, everybody's freaking out because strange lights in the sky are showing up in Orlando as well.
If it happens in Orlando. When is it? September, October? Is it October?
Week before
might be
Halloween.
Another lockdown. We might be in another lockdown by then. Or the hotel, God forbid, might be burnt down with wildfires. You don't know.
Start knocking on wood, Chris. Because one of our the one guest that helped us build the platform we have now, like 95% of the numbers we get is going to be a speaker. We don't want anything bad happening to her. You knock that shit off.
But I'm just saying, the way the world's gone now, the way everything's gone now, something is about to happen. These fires are just distractions. Everything's just a distraction now because it's going to happen. Something big is going to go happen. Hopefully it's after your thing, so you can have your thing. But something is going to happen.
Apparently my mother is watching the show.
How do you know? Oh,
she's in the chat.
Don't worry, Shannon. The aliens will bring him back. They always do. They can only stand him for like half an hour.
Oh, my bed broke again, by the way.
It says, do you think they're maybe dropping you deliberately? Do you think they're maybe dropping you for like an altitude? And you're like falling into the bed? They're maybe taking you to above the ceiling and going, dunk, letting you go.
I don't know. There's been a couple of times where it seemed rushed, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh.
Things are getting weird.
I just don't know. It's the world's. It's all messed up, man. It really is. It's messed up. And what's that? That
no, just
noise?
Looking at the people laughing when I said my mother's apparently watching.
Oh, I think yes, his mother's watching everybody. But see, that's maybe it is. They're maybe dropping you. Maybe when they're bringing you down, they save power sources and then go away to McDonald's or something like that. Like, listen, do you want to just drop them off? And they'll drop them off and you're falling out the ceiling, bonk, into your bed.
Hey, I always said I wanted to go skydiving.
Everybody in the chat, say hello to Dakota's mum in the chat. Sometimes I don't know what it is for me, but sometimes I can't even see any Facebook stuff or that. It's weird. Sometimes I can't see YouTube things. They'll pop up and then they'll disappear again. It's weird. The chat's just active.
Yeah, I've noticed that you were having that issue last night.
Aye, my chat's not working very good. I've refreshed
I was actually awake for that one. And Jenny, being that I see you in the chat, yes, that was me that snuck in to try to help fix things.
Yeah, Jenny. See what I mean? I didn't ken Jenny was in.
You are not paying attention to your girlfriend?
I know, but look! I've just turned my phone on. Ladies and gentlemen. It's the chat for the Streamlabs. It doesn't work.
I know.
Hello, Jenny.
I don't know if it's something about how we've been using it or not, because the chat's been working just fine for me on my end. But maybe tomorrow we should
aliens.
Maybe tomorrow we should probably open up the panel to let more people air out their thoughts.
We should let some people in. We should get Dots if he wants to come in and see if he wants to say anything, or anybody else that wants to come in. Look, it has to be said, this. You know what I mean? And if the CIA is listening, you're obviously a lot closer to Dakota, so take him first.
Hey, I've actually been trying to get CIA agents on as a guest.
You'll not get CIA agents. You'll only get retired ones, and they're probably been warned off us.
No, they said they wanted to. It's just that they were booked for Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch when I asked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find out about that last part till later, but
what I need everybody to do in the chat is I need you to go into TikTok and try and find legit stuff on YouTube and TikTok and legit articles, right? This is what I want you all to do, and I want you to post it everywhere about Hawaii, about these fires, right? And these missing people and that, because we need to wake people up. I've been shadow banned on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Because I posted something the other day there, and it didn't get any likes. Ken, how you can do that thing where you can sign out your account, but look at your account. Well, yeah. I did that, and I couldn't see the post that I put out.
There's actually been some content creators I've followed for years who've actually busted Facebook for altering their page's settings to where their shit doesn't go out. And anytime they go in and try to fix it, within refreshing the page, the setting is back again.
Aye. Look, we need everybody that's watching this to go and find legitimate videos. Don't be posting any that's the folks say the Marines are shooting the folk in that, because that's a load of shit. Just find legitimate ones and post it everywhere.
And here,
You need to.
Iron Fire
we need-
Horse, you gotta consider YouTube is owned by Google, which is actually stepping up their restrictions against independent sources.
Yes.
Sources that can't be bought out by BlackRock or
Yes.
Vanguard. Because let's face it, they own like 90% of the pharmaceutical companies, news media outlets in the world, but funding both sides of the argument. You gotta be careful who you trust.
What's your opinion?
Bonkers is trying to get their own streaming service up and running soon. So there might be a Kickstarter about that. But
what's your opinion on Elon Musk this way? There'll be free speech and all that on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. I see he says he stands for free speech and that, but there's still hacking folk that post stuff on there and their stuff gets taken down.
Again, I want to say this. Why is it that so many young women can post sexually explicit images of themselves on Twitter, yet when those same girls post anything about UFOs, that shit gets taken down?
Yeah. We live in an unfair world. It's like my TikTok account. I don't post anything on there anymore. But this week I had 716 new followers, and my numbers don't go up; they just go down. I should be sitting at 10,000 followers now, and I'm sitting at 4,000. Every week I get around about 800 or 900 followers because of the videos that's on there, and TikTok's no adding them on. But see, if I get into the laptop back, you can actually count them all. And there's around about 10,000. But on the thing, it only says there's 4. I put a ticket in about it and they never got back to me.
They're not going to.
No, because there's no freedom of speech. There's no freedom of speech anymore. And it's the same with the internet. The internet's not what it used to be. The internet isn't a place where people can post for freedom of speech anymore. The internet's not even the same internet as it was when I was in my younger days when the internet first came out. The internet's not the same anymore. It's all these apps and everything that run everything now. And it's not the same as it used to be. It's sad to know that this world is so screwed up, you know. So what we're talking about tomorrow, what in part 2 are we talking about tomorrow? We get into detail with any videos or looking at pictures of like energy weapons or...
We can, but I was also thinking, let's follow through on making tomorrow an open panel. Anybody who wants to come on and join the talk with us, don't be shy.
Yeah. So you're welcome to come on, you know, but don't be any trolls. You'll not be allowed in. You'll be kicked out instantly, you know, because have you noticed lately that Facebook trolls, people are getting trolled like mad on YouTube lately?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the troll situation, there's people out there that I respect that watch their channels and that, and the trolls, they're getting trolled like you wouldn't believe. These are obviously bots or whatever designed to annoy folk.
It
that
doesn't take much to make them, actually.
You know, if we were on here, if we were a show like, oh, Joe Biden's the greatest president ever, and we had all Joe Biden t-shirts on and stuff like that, we'd probably have 2 million followers. Can't I mean? And, but he's an idiot.
You know, being that we're in the last little bit of the show, let's talk about something else when it comes to these Maui fires.
Yeah.
That book, Fire and Fury, you just reminded me of it. Okay?
Yep.
Now, granted, it does seem suspicious, and 90% of the people posting about it likely didn't fucking actually read the damn thing.
Yeah, I seen that.
But I did. I got a little peek.
Right.
That shit was generated by ChatGPT, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it should also be interesting that this Dr. Miles, whatever. Now, that Fire and Fury, it's been taken down, but apparently he had another book out about Hunter Biden.
Oh my God.
Saying how he's overcome drug use, clearly not paying attention.
Well, no, I'm watching
and
the way
become a prominent political figure. Now, granted, I'm not saying he couldn't. There's been several U.S. presidents who have had issues with cocaine. Apparently, Barack Obama was one of them at one point. and got over it and became prominent figures. It does happen. But nevertheless, that is highly out of taste to try to put something out like that when the fires are still.
He maybe thought he'd make a fortune on it because it was such a catchy thing.
And because it got so controversial, a lot of people bought into it just to find out what the hell was going on.
Aye, because there was folk on TikTok and all that saying, "Oh, this guy's a time traveler and all that, and he knows the future and stuff like that." Oh, fucking shit.
Yeah, they also tried saying that the new sphere down in Las Vegas and
That's impressive.
prominent stage with several LCD screens to make its appearance was a portal like out of the Terminator movies.
I seen that.
Now I'm just like, I'm sorry for
We
how
do
big
need
that
a
thing
special
is.
show.
I would be very afraid of what's coming out of it.
We should do a show one night. What do you think, chat, today with, would you call it, idiocy in the conspiracy world?
We'll just call it idiocracy.
Aye, idiocracy, because there's some people on there, honestly, I don't know, they shouldn't even be let loose to walk among us, you know? They shouldn't be let loose to walk among us, get what I mean? And
yeah, but if stupid people weren't allowed to propagate, there'd be several people without a job right now.
That's very true. So I don't think it is the new with TikTok, by the way. There's all these folk hidden on the like 8 bots. You see what I'm talking about?
I know, right as the fucking AI, writer strike's going on, and one of the main concerns being AI applications being used for writing and producing. I'll admit I've used some of those programs before, but we're a smaller company. We can get away with this and things like that. See the latest little bit that's been going around on TikTok?
No, what is it?
People posting looped videos of them sleeping with like another video of like a gaming video or something playing, and having people buy to try waking them up. They're posting videos of what looks like them sleeping. And if you pay attention, you can see where the video skips, where it goes to repeat.
I've seen videos where there's one guy sitting and he's got a picture on his chest and it says, "Please help me. I'll be homeless at the end of the week." But it's been like that since for a year now and he's still getting the money.
And there was one guy, he was looking like he's sleeping. You physically see the video skip when the loop restarts, and people are like, I think only the background is the loop. Oh,
look, I'm going to say this. There's people out there that are complete and utter tits, right? They're complete and utter idiots. And the reason I said this is I had an argument with somebody one night, and it was about flat earthers. I know I've went into this territory, flat earthers, right? It's an area that really annoys me. And I says to him, I says, "What makes you think the earth is flat?" And he's like, This is the God's honest truth. This is what he said to me. Well, what's a map? And I'm like, well, it's a bit of paper and it's flat. And you look at it, aye, it's flat. So the earth is flat. And I says, what, you got to carry a fucking globe about you? Big globe under your arm,
we barely have
this is the
comprehension. I know.
But this is the idea that we're dealing with here. There's people that actually believe the earth is flat because the map of the earth is on a bit of paper. I mean, what do you mean? Did they carry a big globe? I could see it, the new driving the car where there's no GPS. Or wait, they'll get the big globe out, right? And I'm like, oh, we're here, right? And I'll turn it around here. And get what I mean? This is Jesus. I would love to get a flyer if I went to interview.
Because you rant on so openly about it, they're too afraid.
I know. They'll no take me up in this, and because you're complete idiots, Complete idiots. I don't blame you. These are idiots.
And again, flat Earth, it's fully been admitted. The modern version of the flat Earth theory, it's been fully admitted to it. Got started as a prank.
There's Emerald Isle Paranormal. What's that? What do you mean the world is not flat?
If the world is flat, I have huge tits.
You probably do. You'll be getting people in that
Save
chat.
the staring at. Save that kind of chat for your girlfriend.
I know, but I'd honestly, I've got a tape.
Jenny, I question your
she'll give me
sanity
that
about. I question your sanity about going out with this man all the time.
Just the handsome and the sheer good looks.
Did you suffer a brain injury? Or do you need your glasses checked?
Actually, I've had diabetes. See, for the last week, I've had migraines from hell. That I don't know if I don't know if these energy weapons are causing this.
They're getting smaller. Fucking Iron Fire Horse. Fuck you.
Thanks, the Iron Fire Horse. I admire that. You know, but look, tomorrow I think it'll be an open panel. MD's welcome to come on, as long as you're not a flat earther, because I can't be asked arguing with you just by slapping flat earther. Because you're in the. I've seen flat earth shows, and I just don't know. I just don't know how they do it. Honestly, do you kind of mind the first time we started doing Bald and Bonkers, I made the comment about flat earthers. They all sent me messages on Twitter saying, "How can you say that the Earth isn't flat? I've got a map and it proves it's flat." That was one of them, and it says, "I've got a map and it's flat paper, and I know for a fact it's flat." And I'm like, no,
okay.
I can't. Yeah.
Okay, here's what you say. Here's what you say to those assholes. All right. So, say that you watched them on the show. So it's like, are you saying the people that you have photos of flat as well? I mean, you got pictures of them. The pictures are flat.
I have heard that the Flat Earth Society has got followers all around the globe.
Something they really need to say to themselves.
I mean, they seem to think that there's the Flat Earth Society think there's 2 moons and 2 suns.
Yeah.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, tonight, guys, for a laugh, saying it's Saturday night, I want you to all go and watch Flat Earth videos and think to yourself, I'm so grateful that I have more brain cells than them.
That's not much.
You know? But,
yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you all soon, guys. Is there anything you would like to say, Dakota, before we depart for Beyond the Veil?
I do want to give a special shout out to our Patreon subscriber, Josephine, who subscribed to our new promotional tiers. If you go for the $10 tier, you can actually get free digital copies of Bald and Bonkers Network LLC books, free for download.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to find
links
out
in the description.
Secrets.
Yeah, they don't want to walk into that closet.
You never know what you'll find in there, tucked away, right at the back.
Plenty of boners.
Well, there you go.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.